Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to Nerdin' Out. My name is Evan. I'm joined by Nathanael and a couple other people here. So Doug and Nick have already been on the podcast before.
Hello again.
What's up, guys?
And then our friend Morgan is joining us for the first time.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So we are nerds, and we've brought our friends who are also nerds because we want to talk about a nerdy thing that has been around for a while, but lately seen a bit of a resurgence, and that is Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. So I thought it would be fun. We are going to do a short, like, one-off thing, but that'll be a later episode. This episode is more just kind of talking about D&D and sharing stories and kind of our own introductory to the world of Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, so I thought we could just go around the table, maybe starting with Nick. What was your first Dungeons and Dragons experience?
My first Dungeons and Dragons experience was with an old friend, Tyler. He was starting a campaign with Morgan and a couple of other friends, and they invited me to play. It was a fantastic time. It was by far the best dungeon master I've ever played with, and it just got me right into the game.
What would you say was the appeal for you? What was the thing that got you hooked? And this is a question I want everyone to think about.
I would have to say the ability kind of like to act outside of yourself, to kind of take on a persona, whether it's one that you've wanted to take on your entire life or one that you just thought would be fun to experiment with. That was really the appeal for me. That and killing dragons. Yeah.
Killing dragons was the thing for you.
Killing dragons and being able to play as somebody else.
That's cool. Morgan.
Well, actually, fun fact, Tyler's my ex-boyfriend, and actually, it all got started for me when a couple of my friends, Zach and Justin, we all decided, you know what, we've heard about Dungeons & Dragons for some time, we've always been curious about it, let's get it started. And so I actually roped Tyler into starting to DM myself because I thought he's the only guy I know with actual playing experience in Dungeons & Dragons, so I roped him into becoming a DM, and yeah, he's a fantastic dungeon master. And so yeah, we started with a custom campaign that he threw together, and it was just fantastic. For me, the biggest appeal is watching my imagination come to life. I can make up my own story as I go. I can be whoever I want to be, and it's just fun. It's just good fun. You can be funny, serious, homicidal, or a combination of the three.
Oh, yeah. It sounded like for a moment you were going to say hilarious, but
Yes.
I'm sure it does at times.
I mean,
yes.
Homicide's kind of hilarious.
It's ridiculously hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's the funniest thing known to man.
So this is the second time Tyler has come up. I've played in a couple sessions with him, and I will agree with you. He is a great DM. Probably not the best DM I've worked with, but Doug is a DM. Doug is a DM for a campaign that we got going on off the book. So it's.
I thought Evan was pointing to himself, and I was like, okay.
No, I was totally pointing to Doug. Doug is a DM for our campaign, and he's I think he's awesome. But I think the thing that's great about it is that. I'm sensing the theme already. It's like imagination and being someone else and kind of, acting out. Yeah. So
You get to live your own story.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's the appeal. I feel like people love the character development in a lot of stories, and when they see that happen in their character that they've made, I feel like it's more personal. And when a character dies, it probably has a lot more weight to it than.
Oh my God! Yeah, I have stories about that. I have stories about that.
We will get to those stories. Douglas, what was your first experience, and what was the hook?
For me personally, my first experience was
That deep, beautiful voice of Butter, by the way.
I know. That's what happens when you go to a metal show and forget you have a podcast recording.
Oh, that's what happens. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Like lube to my ears.
So my first experience was with a group from high school. We were, we were a couple years out of high school now, and one day I was over at my friend Croce's house, and they kind of just dropped a D&D book in front of me and said, "We're playing this. Do you want to join?" Immediately rolled up a character, and we started rolling through some garbage. I rolled up a Dragonborn rogue, which I had no clue what the hell I was doing, but they didn't either, so it was the best part. And really, my hook was just getting together with friends and kind of laughing and joking and having a good time and building kind of like a little group amongst our already built social group, and just kind of be able to take all those jokes into a made-up world where we can kind of just throw the same bullshit around and have a good time.
Cool. So it's kind of like the camaraderie, or kind of like the just kind of spending time with friends as kind of the hook for you. It's
what it really is. It's getting people together and just kind of having a good time.
Yeah.
Whether it's a serious campaign where you really dive in and go through a dungeon, or it's just beer and pretzels having a laugh at each other.
Or if it's a serious moment in the actual campaign, or if it's like a fun, goofy moment in a campaign, that's still it's just kind of it's a good time to like spend with friends. It's a good fun time, right?
Yeah, exactly. My favorite part is taking a serious character and watching him fumble through everything, and everyone looking at you going,
"Come on,
was
man.
that on purpose?" Be like, "I mean, no."
No, but I'll play it off like it was.
Really, exactly.
So Nathanael is probably the person with the least amount of experience with Dungeons and Dragons,
And the most amount of experience with nerding out.
Ooh.
He's got his
I'm the founder. Excuse you. It was my idea.
Well,
I
you want to
came
fight?
to-
You want to fight?
I'll fight you in D&D.
And keep it in the session, boys. It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, I have almost no experience with D&D. I think I've played one game. I've watched
You've played one session.
one session, and I got into it because of Evan, I think.
I was like, this is a really cool new thing. You have to try it.
Yes, Evan was like ridiculously excited, and I'd been wanting to play D&D for a long time. I think I'd watched a few matches my friends had played in college. They invited me to watch. They asked if I wanted to play. I just didn't have time. It's always something I've been interested ever since. Some of my friends told me it was a devil, and I was like, I definitely want to play this now. So, yeah, it's been a long time coming, but
Yeah. So what was the one thing that intrigued you? But then what was the one thing that was keeping you from taking the plunge, other than like schedule and like busyness?
yeah, I mean, mostly it's the time.
Okay.
It really is just the time. Like the
Yeah.
amount of time that it takes away from other things is just yeah.
It takes a high commitment.
So one of the things that draws me to it the most is actually trolling people, as you remember
See, if
from
David
our
was
other
here-
session.
If David was here, he'd be high-fiving you.
Oh yeah, he would be. Rest in peace. But
He didn't die. Stop it.
You might as well.
But yeah, being able to role play and just be creative. I mean, almost every aspect of D&D appeals to me.
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking of trolling, the first character you made for that one session that was supposed to be part of the campaign was a tiefling sorcerer, I think, named Bobby.
Well, he was
something?
a tiefling sorcerer, and I think he was also
He was an entertainer.
He was an entertainer. He had a little triangle that he hit. His name was Bobby Dean Tillamook III.
Yes.
And he spoke like this.
And yes,
And it
he
was
had
an
a very
abomination.
obnoxious Southern accent, and he bought onions.
You sound like you were Lord of the Breakfast or something. I'm sitting here and I just can't keep a straight face. I remember you were supposed to play with us, but dear God, that's what you were gonna sound like. My
No. I did play one session that way.
That was the
there.
session
No,
you
weren't
missed.
there.
That was the session you missed.
I'm glad I might have killed you.
You probably would have.
I
and it would
wanted
have been.
to.
Lotta, my wife, almost killed him. But
I almost killed me.
so
I mean, you did go down, so.
you did, yeah. How we played it off for sessions going on was we just played it off as like the next day you were just like, no, this is too much. I'm leaving, and you just dipped.
It would have been funny if he like just walked off and just stumbled and died over a twig or something. That would have been accurate.
That too.
Choking on a Bobby Dean sausage breakfast.
You mean Jimmy Dean, but yes, I get the
No,
joke.
Bobby Dean.
No, Bobby
What
Dean.
we're doing,
Bobby
yeah.
Dean.
He's got the
that was
patent
the joke.
now. He's branded.
Yeah, we're rebranding it. All right. What was my first experience? I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, no one really cares. Shut up. We're moving along. D&D, guys.
That's the worst part about like starting with someone else. It comes back to you, and then it's just like, let me talk about myself now. It's always
Tell us more, Evan.
So.
you guys don't mean it. Well, my first experience was actually Doug. It was very similar to how Nathanael got into it, where Doug was just like, hey dude, it's D&D, like I'm really into it, you should try it. And I was just like, and it was like similar, like I've always heard of it. I never really got into it. I never really sat down and watched anyone do it, but Doug came over and then it was Victor was there.
Victor, yeah.
Yeah, so our other friend Victor, he was there, and he basically had me and Victor fight for D&D. We created characters and then we fought, and I was like, okay, that's interesting, like the combat aspect that makes sense. That's cool. There's like strategy and all that stuff. That's cool. But I really got into it when I sat in. It was New Year's.
Yeah, it was the New Year's game, and
Yes.
we needed an extra guy, so I roped you in.
So you were like, hey, let's make you a character and play with us. We played till what, like 2 in the morning?
At least 2.
We played till 6 or like 5 in the morning or something. Like
No.
We played.
It was 4. I probably dropped you off around like 5 in the morning.
Yeah. That's what it was. I didn't get to bed till 5, but
Didn't we have like 10 pizzas that night?
yes.
Yeah. We picked up pizzas, and then we show up, and they also picked up pizzas.
So there was so much pizza.
Yeah.
But I made a halfling rogue for that session. I think I made like a halfling.
No, you made a human fighter champion.
No, I didn't. Did I?
I remember specifically because you died.
Well, no, I died. No, oh yeah. Oh no, I made a halfling rogue for the other campaign that Tyler ran.
No, that was the same campaign.
That was?
Yeah, you only dropped in one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah, that's right.
so we came in for the New Year's thing, and Tyler was the DM. It was you, Nick, Wesley, and Justin that were
Yes.
there. Was there anyone else there?
I believe Ray was there.
Ray was
unless
there,
he
yeah.
missed there that session.
I believe.
Ray's actually my older brother.
Yes, Ray is Morgan's older brother.
And wasn't Morgan there?
I think Morgan was out of town that session.
I was out of town that session, and remember, Tyler's the ex-boyfriend, so there were some sessions I did not show up to.
I see.
Things were a little weird.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I jumped in there, and that was my first like real experience sitting down and like playing and rolling and all that stuff. And I think I'm on the same page with Doug, and just the memories and the stories that you create with the people like sitting at the table with you. I think it's a mixture of that and also just like the storytelling aspect and creating a character and seeing his or her story develop into a way that kind of, maybe you don't see going. Maybe you have an idea for like who you want this person to be, but just like any person, they grow and they experience things and they change and their ideals change and stuff like that. So I think that is it's a cool thing, and you create these people that almost become like living people, and it's a very fun, addictive game and world, and it's very fun. So that's my little thing about how I got into it and why I love it so much.
I thought that was never gonna end. I'm totally kidding.
Okay, story time.
So we're already beating on the DM, as you guys can tell.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, DM, roll 1.
Okay, so going forward, we're gonna actually have another episode that comes out after this. That's gonna be a session that we do. Might be split up into 2, might be just 1, depends on how long it goes. Everyone has made characters for said campaign, so I thought what would be fun is we can each person can introduce their character, kind of give a description, how they got involved in this adventuring party, and a fun fact about each character. We'll go the opposite way. So Nathanael, go.
You don't want to pick me first.
I
have the least
want-
developed character.
I want to see you make it up on the spot. Spare no
sure.
details.
Spare no details. So I am a Dragonborn cleric, Black Dragonborn.
Ooh.
My name is Thought Ho Hor Wyrm the Pure. I'm just kidding. That's not true. My name is Zorwyrm.
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 I would have been totally fine with that first name.
That first name.
Pretty gold. On point. It's almost as good as your Warforged cleric.
That's another story.
Let's see. I'm chaotic good, and what else was I? I think my origin is something with hermit. That's all I got.
He's a hermit. He's a hermit.
He's a hermit, yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's just basically lived his whole life just studying different cultures and medicine and stuff like that.
Cool.
And he hasn't had much experience with people, and he's very old. He's 70 years old.
Cool. Good to know. So we got an old man cleric. All right, Doug, tell us about your dude or dudette. I don't know.
Well, he's definitely a dude.
Okay, I don't want to
First
assume.
off.
I don't want to assume gender. Sorry. I am a man. You didn't bring it.
I didn't want to interrupt.
It's okay. Okay. All right.
So, the character I have made for this is a human paladin of redemption, a lawful good. His name is Dervin Goodman, but he goes by Wolf. He actually has a criminal background coming from a life of gangs and running contracts for people, but he got caught up with the wrong people that got him caught, and he spent several years in the jails before one of the cleriges of Tyr came and provided him a path out and to redeem himself for all the evil doing he has done. So now he comes to provide others with that path of justice and righteousness to rid the world of evil in a more neutral manner, kind of bringing
Peacekeeping.
peacekeeping, you know, instead of the natural violence that comes with being a paladin.
What do the American cows say? Peacekeeping? Yes, peacekeeping. So good. Okay. Does he have any distinguishing features about him that help him stand out, or do you have any details on what he looks like? Because this is an audio show, so
Yes.
it kind of helps to help with the imagination a little bit.
Yes, so Dervin is 37 years old. Did I write that down right? I don't remember what I wrote down. I actually wrote down 35 years old, 5'10", a good solid 240 build, blue eyes, pale skin with blonde hair.
All right, cool.
So he's a douche.
Got Fabio up in here.
So
Yes.
just wait.
So he's basically just like a Kyle.
No.
Hey, it's totally Kyle.
No. Kyle's never make it past 22.
They die from kidney stones that develop in their from drinking too many monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Morgan, tell us about your tiefling.
All right. So
I know you only just made this character a couple days ago.
actually, she's a character I've had in the
really?
background for a long time.
Okay, cool.
I played a one-shot session with some of my brother's friends.
Oh, okay.
And literally came up with her within an hour because I had no idea what to do. But yeah, she's a tiefling warlock. Her name is Asphyxia Umara.
Of course it is.
Fun fact, her mom gave her that name because she wishes she had smothered her. Yes.
Am I the only one who's laughing?
Asphyxia's daddy liked to masquerade as a very handsome human man, so when he hooked up with her human mother, she was none the wiser until Asphyxia was born that she had hooked up with a tiefling.
Wow. Okay.
And as some more experienced players may know, tieflings are not well received and are often the subject of racism and abuse. But I'm very excited to play her. She's going to be Pact to the Tome as well, so she is going to have a lot of cantrips and spells to play around with. And
Excellent.
As far as her personality and appearance goes, she has lavender-colored skin, dark red hair, black eyes,
Like
black.
all
Think
black?
like those
Okay.
lenses that cover your entire eye,
Alright.
entire thing, no pupil.
Okay, cool.
And she has two.
Just wanted to clarify.
Oh yeah, and then she has two long vertical horns that curl at the ends that are also black.
Okay.
And then otherwise, her personality, she's a bit guarded, obviously, because she's had a bit of a troubled start to her
Right.
life.
Naturally.
She was abandoned from an early age in the slums, so she does have a soft spot for other people who have been discriminated against or possibly given a poor lot in life.
Okay.
But she's learned to embrace her stereotypes and basically just fuck shit up with it. She loves to run with it.
I love it.
See, I'm going to interrupt because I thought me and Nick's character were going to be best friends. No, me and Morgan's characters are going to be best friends.
We're gonna it up together.
Oh, we have to first...
We're riding to hell in a fucking handbasket.
No.
not.
We're taking the right of justice to Matir, but you're going to, be my
I
little...
practice the fiend. All glory to the fiend.
No.
Oh,
I'm going to turn you to the righteous.
This is gonna be great. I can
Oh
already
God!
tell. All right.
I knew it.
All right. Nick, tell us about your character.
All right. So my character's name is Barack Bone Mountain. He is a
Wait, did you just say Barack Obama?
No, I did not.
Are you running for president? Are you a diplomat?
He's actually running for vice president next year.
I see.
He is a human berserk barbarian.
Of course.
He is 25 years old. He looks like he's 30. He is a 6'6", hulking 250 pounds of pure muscle.
Awesome.
Dark brown hair with strands of red, piercing silver eyes. He comes from he comes from Luskin, which is a Forgotten Realms town. He was kicked out of his clan because he defended his younger brother from a bully, ended up beating the kid near to death. So probably rightfully so, but that's when he discovered his rage. From there he was about 18. So when he left out on his travels, he found the Blood Axe mercenary company. He joined them by proving himself in battle, and has been with them ever since, until he ran into Doug's character at a bar. Saw his axe, said nice axe.
He saw that ass. He's like,
That's Pay Run's.
damn, look at that paladin ass.
That godly ass. I see the lights.
That's a tear ass.
Axe. He saw his axe. Looked at him, said nice axe. He looked at my hammer, said nice hammer. And it just went from there.
Did you care to say, can I ask you a question?
No.
Absolutely not.
Not until after a few things of ale.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He likes playful banter with a strong ale.
So the bad puns don't come out until after alcohol. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
After like one, then it's just puns for the rest of the night.
Oh, so he's
A couple Dragon's
Yeah.
Bloods later, and we're all having good.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect.
I have a question. Was that actually Dragon's Blood in the campaign? Was
What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean.
So the thing about in my world, everything has a name, and it's always a fun name. Well, in last week, Evan's character
For your campaign.
my campaign, Evan's character Micus was at the bar with his wife's character Nisa. They were having a drink. Once everyone finally rejoined the party at the bar, Evan's character looked to the barmaid and said, "Bring me the strongest thing you have." She laughs. She goes to the bartender.
No. First she asked, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I know what I said."
Yes, and she goes to the bar back, and he laughs. So after a minute, she brings him a nice red viscous liquid smoking, and he begins to just chug it.
I just down it.
And I won't tell you the rest, but he just face plants to the table.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you the rest. I do that. First, you ask me, you do that? And I'm like, yes. And then you're like, okay, make me 3 Constitution saving throws. And I'm like, really? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like,
And what did you roll?
I rolled a 1 first.
Which imposed disadvantage.
So that means I have to roll twice, take the lower roll. I roll an 11, then I rolled a 1.
So we're at 3 levels of exhaustion.
And then I roll 7, and then I roll a 2.
4 levels of exhaustion, and they just took a contract up from the king to take a caravan of supplies to some neighboring towns in the morning.
Yeah, we're leaving in the morning.
My character's at the guild hall while this is all happening,
Yeah.
by the way. So my character's going to show up at your inn tomorrow and go, what the hell?
No, what's going to happen is like I'm going to be on the back of a wagon in one of the caravans just sleeping for 2 days, basically. Well, because I'm going to sleep this night, and that's 1 level off. I still have 3, and then it's a 2-day travel back to the town that we came from. That's where the caravan's going. So there's 2 nights. I'm still going to be at 1 level of exhaustion. So it's like,
Sir,
I'm not helping carry you.
Your roads now are covered in bandits. You think you're getting 2 days rest along this nice, quiet summer road?
Maybe we can disguise him as like a couch or something.
You're gonna have to do something.
Well, I'm not carrying him. You know what I look
no
like.
one's going to carry me.
I can't carry him.
He is the fighter. He's the biggest
I'm
character.
the book nerd. My wrist will break trying to carry you.
I know. I believe you. Yeah. So that was fun. And
So that's funny story number 1.
There's-
embarrassingly about art.
I have another embarrassing story for my character.
Oh, we'll get there. But actually, I did want to ask you a question, Evan.
You wanted to ask him a question, or
I'm asking him the question. You asked us about our characters. Tell me about your world you're dropping us into.
I would like to tell my character's nickname first, if I may.
Go for it.
The Mountainous
right.
Masochist.
The mountainous masochist.
So a hard bottom.
You have a calloused bottom.
Yes.
I also forgot to mention how old my character is. I feel like that's relevant because we have a distinctly old dragonborn in the party.
How?
Just 28 years old. And also, another fun fact, her main goal is to find her mom and get revenge. So,
Cool.
yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like that was kind
So
of random.
Morgan's character is the youngest. No.
so does she want to go back and smother her mom, basically?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna give
Okay,
her that
so
sweet
so
two-handed
to answer Doug's question, the world that I'm dropping you into in this one shot is the land of Hylia. And so you guys took a contract from. You guys found there was like a big poster board in the citadel of Hylia, basically, and there was a posting on the wall that said a town was being raided like every other night. And so you guys were like, okay, that's like we need some coin, so let's go check that out. So to give a brief overlay, the town that you guys are in is a large town / like small city. So it's fairly, it's a fairly big town, but not big enough to be a city. Is that kind of a good description of that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So this is on the northern part of the continent. So if you go north about a day and a half or so, you get the docks, you get the beach, you get the docks up there, but it's kind of like an old fishing, like Alaska, dock. So not you won't want to take a beach trip up there, right? And then to the south.
Wait, we're not going on vacation?
No, you're not. Actually, you're actually going the opposite direction. You're going south to the forests. That's where you're going.
Oh, a camping trip.
Yes.
I love.
Yes. So to the
Lots of things smash.
to the south of
We're
this
going
town.
on a slaycation.
To the south of this town that you guys are going to, which is called Giltzburg, is the forest. It's a very dense forest, and it goes pretty far south, and then you hit the mountains where all the dwarves hang out. Basically, that's where, and then you go east and west. It's basically just kind of like plains and hills. There's a desert to the west. The further you go west, there's more of a desert. And more like desert and canyons and stuff like that. And then the more east you go, the more like northeast you go, there's like really big like mountainous peak, and there's stuff up there too. But you guys aren't going that direction. You guys are focused in the town of Giltzburg. That's where you guys are going. And we're not starting the session yet, but that's just a quick little description of where you guys are. And basically what's happening is you guys found the contract. You're like, okay, let's go take care of this. We need some coin. And also you have a paladin here who's like, hey, innocent people are in danger, so we should probably go help them.
I just have one question.
What's up?
Are there dragons
Well,
in the world at all? Wait, I'm a dragonborn. Never mind.
I was going to say, the name of the game is Dungeons and Dragons. So if there was a world that didn't have dragons in it, that'd be kind of disappointing.
It'd just be dungeons.
It would just be
Dungeons and Nick's character's.
Yes, exactly. But I'm not telling you guys any explicit details about the world or like the world of the campaign, but that's just a very like brief description of it.
Yeah, no, save that all for when we dive into it.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so tune into the next episode to hear more about that and to hear the story unfold. But we will open it back up to stories if anyone has any. Nick's been chomping at the bit.
I do.
Okay, go for it.
I have 2 stories that I like to tell.
Okay, share one and then we'll open it up to someone else and then we can come back to you.
I think the first one I'll do is Zill. He was by far my favorite character I ever played. He was a human rogue, but I played him much like a ranger, so he primarily used a bow the entire time. The one fight that is the best story I can think I can ever tell is when we were fighting a beholder. Now,
for people who don't know what a beholder is, can you explain what a beholder is?
Yeah, a beholder is basically the strongest, one of the most ferocious creatures you can find in D&D. It's
aside of Tarask.
aside of Trask, but we're not talking about a Trask. It's the iconic monster. It's on the cover of the monster manual. It's basically this floating eye, essentially, like this creature with one giant eye and then 10 stalks, right?
I think it's 9.
9 stalks, each with
the
an
big
eye
in
at
the
the
middle
end.
is the 10th eye.
Yeah. Each eye stalk does a different ability. It does a different
and it's also
ray.
got a bunch of teeth.
Yes, it also got a mouth with a bunch of teeth. It's a very scary monster to fight because it can really screw over your party.
You could say word adults.
Oh wait,
I wasn't sure.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say like censoring's a thing. So
That.
So
I don't advise f***ing it.
a beholder, yeah,
no.
don't do that.
I don't
Don't
advise
do
that.
that.
Tell me how to live my life.
So after the way we run into this beholder is we're fighting this white dragon, this ice dragon. We end up almost killing it, but the beholder kills it first, and it comes down, and we start fighting it right after fighting a dragon. Now, that's really hard to do because we were at like half HP at that point.
Half HP, no healer of any kind. Mm-hmm. Oh no, we had your paladin at that point.
Yeah.
So a little healing, not enough.
I can lay my hands on you.
So we're all kind of ourselves in this, and my character, being the rogue, runs away and hides behind a wall, but I keep nailing him with arrows. I keep every single shot I would fire at him, I would hit about 80% of the time, something like that.
I would say it was 80.
Yeah. So the beholder starts targeting me because I keep hitting the damn fucker. So he misses 3 or 4 times. I think it was 4 times.
It was an easy 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
That fight went on long. We had a paladin with an axe, a fighter with a sword, and at that point, was that Wesley's sorcerer or
No, that no. It was his fighter, the blood pact fighter.
the blood
whatever.
pack fighter,
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the monster hunter?
the monster hunter,
the monster hunter. Yeah.
And Justin was playing a monk.
Yes.
So way too much melee, and you were the only one who could hit it.
Yep. Because the dang thing can fly.
I couldn't reach it.
Yep.
None of us could.
None of them could reach it. I was the only one that could reach it. So it finally hits me with a ray, but it incapacitates me and makes me frozen, basically. He pulls me 10 feet toward him, and I'm sitting here like, don't fucking kill me. Next ray, don't fucking kill me. Well, The ray hits me.
Does he kill you?
Let me get to that part. He hits me. Tyler rolls the damage, and when he says the full damage, I'm like, I'm not insta-killed. And he just looks at me and goes like, wait, you hit 0 HP? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, oh boy, you just dropped the ash. And I sit there like, are you fucking kidding me? And I start crying.
Ash.
Like, I loved this character.
Oh no.
Zill was ash and confetti.
Yes.
I kept his ashes in a container on my belt.
Oh.
Yeah. I was heartbroken. I needed to take like 5 minutes just for myself after that fight.
Damn.
Because this character I loved so flipping much. I still tear up whenever I talk about this.
I feel that in my soul.
Woof. Okay. Does anyone know how to follow that?
I mean, do we want to save yours? I feel like it's better.
Well, I was gonna say you have. I know there was one character of yours that you love named Finn.
Finn.
Oh, my baby
I've heard many stories
So
of Finn.
I will.
My baby.
If Finn is on the chopping block, I'll talk about Finn, and I think we should move to Morgan because Finn plays into Morgan's character for that
Yes, he
campaign
does.
as well. So, Finn was actually my second character in this campaign with our DM Tyler at the time. I was still really new to the game. I think I was playing with you guys for probably 4 months before my rogue died.
That sounds about right, yeah.
And because I was still figuring everything out, and I was like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to play a character that doesn't know what he's doing. So I rolled up Finn the Human Fighter from Adventure Time. And that is exactly how I played him. 17, young, obnoxious, clingy, loved weapons. He picked up everything he could touch.
I'm gonna be honest right now. I know your character played into mine pretty hard. I did not make that connection until just now. I did not even think about that until literally this moment.
Now, mind you guys, that was years ago.
It is funny.
3 years ago.
It's funny because I saw Morgan's face and I saw like the look on her face, and it was either, oh my gosh, that just clicked, or really that's how you were playing it, because I didn't see that at all. I was going to go either one of those ways.
It was really hard to role play him as the way I really wanted to play him as the character in the show. But I was like, I'm not going to take every detail from the show and put in my character because it's a very different style world.
He didn't wear like a weird white bear hat.
No, he couldn't. But I did have a green cape that I got from
sweet.
Dragon Wing.
Oh, cool. That's dope.
That was
That's
an awesome magic item I got to make. But so the character, because I was playing him as a little unsure of himself, not sure how to kind of work in the world.
Did you use any of Finn's catchphrases from the show?
I wanted to, but it was just kind of it didn't click. You know, with the style that Tyler was playing and the world he dropped us in, I was like, you know what? I took the concept and I'm making it my own.
Okay.
And it worked out very well. I really wanted to do.
You didn't do like a cut and paste thing.
No. It's too much to do.
I can respect that. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I did want to do like the 2-weapon fighting and all that kind of stuff, but as we kind of developed him, it didn't make sense.
Did you get far enough to get the archetype?
Oh, absolutely.
What
I
archetype
was
did you go with?
Battle Master.
You went Battle Master?
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun.
The best fighter, in my opinion.
Okay, see, for my fighter just got to level 3, and I was debating a long time when I created the character whether or not I wanted to go Battle Master or Eldritch Knight. Now, the Eldritch Knight appeal is really cool, but my wife actually said, like, I was sitting down with my wife, and I was telling her about it, and she was like, "Do you think your character would pick that?" And I just went,
The best way to pick stuff for your character is to think whether your character itself would pick it.
yeah, and this kind of goes back to, like, you know, what I love about D&D is that it kind of forces you to make character decisions, not player decisions. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I would love to like just throw fireballs around and do a bunch of really cool stuff with magic, but Micus, my fighter, he's a half elf. He kind of like, he doesn't like the elf culture, and he doesn't really like that side or anything. So it's like, why would he try to like perform magic? That's very much an elf thing. So it makes me so I was like, damn, he wouldn't choose that. He wouldn't go that way. He would probably go Battlemaster because he fought in underground rings and like he likes to like learn different styles and stuff. Like he would totally do that. She was like, cool, then you should probably do that. And I'm like, damn, you're right. So yeah, I love that kind of stuff. So that's always fun. Sorry. So Finn.
No, of course. No, yeah. That's the great thing about the stories is you can always make great connections to someone else's character. Yeah. But so yeah, the story I am going to tell about Finn is we had everyone loves this story because it's brutal.
Nick just made a pinching motion with his fingers. I'm really curious.
It's the best Finn story.
So we had Morgan's paladin Lucius at the time. We had Zill at the time. We had Wesley's ranger Justin. We just lost Justin's warlock and we picked up his monk, and we had my fighter Finn. Finn was still earning, and I mean earning, his place in the group. They really enjoyed using him for traps because
Zill backed him up, but everybody made me his babysitter. So yeah, I wasn't okay with that.
Well, yes, you were, but I was his daddy.
Yes, he attached to.
He may have been your father, but I was your daddy.
Exactly.
That's okay. I didn't really want to watch over him anyway.
Finn really attached to Lucius because the background I gave him was the city of Greenest they saved during this campaign, Horde of the Dragon Queen, was where Finn originally saw them and watched Lucius stand up to the big bad guy of that first setting. So, the story I told him is he tracked them down and joined up with them after a little convincing. And then after we make our way from Greenest, and I track them all the way up to these swamps, forget somewhere like the northern west region of Faerun. Forget what swamps they were called. They were,
I have no idea. It's been too long.
Yeah, exactly. But the big thing about these swamps is there was a castle in there, kind of being taken over by these lizard folk who were actually being held hostage by the cult we were following. So as we're making way through this entire castle, there's a lot of doors for us to explore, lots of places for us to check out. And Finn actually kind of gained the trust of one of the lizard folk by teaching them how to blacksmith. And the one lizard folk I mainly taught how to blacksmith and made himself some makeshift armor and adorned it with spikes. And so we end up calling him Spike. And he was our lizard folk leader.
He was a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was.
Yes, and we led them down to the lower dungeons where we knew the cultists were hiding, waiting to ambush us. And we were asking them to wait for us to explore the rest of the castle before we adventured down with them to take care of the cultists with them. And they said, "No, we're doing this now. You gotta figure your shit out." They marched themselves down to the dungeons and took care of the cultists for us, while the rest of us explored the rest of this castle and the towers. But what Nick wants me to get to, a very particular spot, was us running away from a pack of, I believe they were hellhounds, or...
I believe, that's what they were. Yeah.
It was a pack of hellhounds that were chasing us through the castle, and my character Finn found a golden telescope that he wanted to take with him. He's like, yeah, it's treasure. This is coming with me. He broke it. He immediately broke it as he touched it. So he thought, it's still gold, and he shovels it into his bag.
It's still gold. I love that.
And one of the times the hellhounds were chasing us, we made them slip, and they were kind of guarding one of the doors. They knew we were behind. So he goes to the top of the tower we're at and shakes that golden telescope out of his bag and drops it along the backside, luring the dogs the other way. So that was a good way for us to get out, and we make our way across the courtyard, and we're presented with, I think it was 2 door options.
It was 2 doors.
At the end of the courtyard.
No, it was off to the right of the courtyard because it was tower and then building with doors.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we go through the building.
So you come to 2 doors. You didn't really need that detail.
Hey, very important. It's all important.
Devil's in the details.
And everyone decides, no, we're going left the way we came from. And I'm thinking, well, there's obviously got to be something this way. I decided, open said door to the right where no one wanted to go. And there's just a horde of giant centipede there.
Yeah, you've told me this.
And I'm like, all right, well, that's not what I'm interested in. My party's going that way. I'm following. And Tyler's like, did you shut that door? I'm like, no, why would I? And we book it down the other
my
door,
God.
slam it shut, barricade it behind us. But we're still left with the option. Is the Hellhounds know where we're at again? And we have to get across the courtyard. I guess we said, F it. We have the advantage now. We know where they're at. We can get at them. And we charge the Hellhounds and we start taking them out. You know, this is a good fight. Just, you know, an easy, clean fight. But Tyler decides to roll for the centipedes on the initiative chart. Unbeknownst to us. And after round 3, they come crawling from the room that I decided not to close, chew through the door that we barricaded, and make their way into the fight behind us.
Oh no.
Yep.
And my entire party, who I'm still trying to convince I'm not a complete screw up.
I can't imagine you won any points.
No. They looked at me and they said, "You're f*** up. You take care of." So I had to take on 5 giant centipedes by myself, which all swarmed me, began crawling up my legs and gnawing at me. One of which decided to crit. Now, for those in D&D, you know, everyone crits are, you know, the max damage and stuff, and everyone's always like, oh, it's a headshot, or you cleave the head off, and Tyler's like, yeah, this thing bites your head. I'm like, but it's on my legs. Yeah, not that head.
Balls of steel.
It's just kind of a silence, and it's like,
Oh no, we died laughing.
Everyone immediately smiled and went, this is what you get, twerp. And they lost their shit.
For a solid like 5 minutes.
Solid 5 minutes. It was nothing but jokes for a solid 5 minutes.
So Centipede bit your
Centipede bit my in the middle of combat. I'm sitting there smacking my sword. Like, get off me. And that's not the worst part.
No.
The worst part is being poisoned from that bite.
Suck out the poison.
Oh yeah, someone has to suck out
So we are...
Nobody did.
We are at the crossroads of finishing up this combat. I'm poisoned. Everyone's looking around going, what the hell? No way to take care of it. And I'm thinking, well, someone's got to get it out, right? Now, this is when we just picked up Justin's character as Monk, and we liked using Justin for a lot of cringy activities. So after some...
That's putting it mildly.
hard convincing, I got that poison out.
He sucked your dick.
Yes.
Okay. As great as that story is, we have time for one more story. I'm sorry, Nick. I know you had 2, but I want to get.
That's okay.
I want to get to Morgan because I know she has a story that she wants to tell.
Do you remember the whole story?
I remember many stories.
Try to be closer to the end.
I remember many stories.
Cool.
But the character that's been mentioned a couple times, Lucius, was my Minotaur paladin who went Oathbreaker and then went back to being a paladin again.
Wow.
A regular paladin.
So for people who aren't super familiar with Dungeons and Dragons like Nathanael here, what is it like Oathbreaker paladin?
An Oathbreaker is one that has taken his chosen path and decided to turn his back basically on his faith and the oath that he made as a paladin. So the oath being your archetype for a paladin. So by breaking his oath, he turned his back on his god and went from lawful good straight to lawful evil.
Okay.
And yeah, Finn was my baby duck, as I often called him that, or I would also call him the son I never wanted.
Oh.
I would teach him how to dual wield axes in the spare time, try to help him out.
That's so wholesome.
Yeah.
He was a great mentor.
I tried my best.
Great Minotaur.
As long as we don't talk about my thumbs. So many thumb jokes. But
They were all well timed.
that's easy for you to say.
Okay. So tell us more about Lucius.
So Lucius went Oathbreaker because early on, it was pre-planned for him to become an Oathbreaker because I heard that was the quickest way for me to be something akin to a Death Knight. And so I really wanted to play something like that. So what happened was with the original party, we went into a dungeon where Wraith was supposed to live. And while we were there, my character died. But we were advised that don't abandon the body. There might be a chance to bring him back. So they drug my body with them to the rest of the dungeon and did come and meet with the Wraith after dealing with a beholder. Thankfully that we were able to talk out of fighting with us.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Wraith presented a bargain. Basically, let him go through the mind of, at the time was Justin's other character. The Warlock, was it?
I believe it was the Warlock.
Yes, it was a Warlock. So basically steal all of the information and knowledge that could be gained from our friend Justin's mind, and also giving up the scrolls that we had found, the magic scrolls, as sort of a bargaining chip for him to bring me back. The thing was, when I died, even though I was a paladin, I went straight to the first layer of the 9 hells. And
Oh, because you were an Oathbreaker.
no, I hadn't broken my oath when I died. But I went to hell. So the Wraith went into my body and brought me back. The thing is, when he brought me back, something interesting happened. It turned out when I was in the 9 hells, I wasn't tortured, but a demon had gone inside my body and was chilling in there. When the Wraith went into my body to bring me back, a piece of the Wraith was left behind with me, and I basically had functioning schizophrenia, where this Wraith was telling me to do bad things. But we found out later on, this Wraith wasn't just a Wraith anymore in my body. The demon and the Wraith had assimilated with each other, and I had a literal inner demon inside of me, gaining bonuses against me as I grew stronger as an Oathbreaker, which leads to one of my favorite moments in that same Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign, which is I can't remember the name of it, but the Celestial Realm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it Mount Celestia? I think that's where we went to.
Yeah, the home of the gods, basically. And
Sheesh.
we were there as
I was gonna say that's probably as late game as it gets.
That was,
we were like 70% of the way through.
yeah, it was like 13th level.
Okay,
and I
yeah,
was the
so-
last member of the original party left, by the way, at this point, because we had been playing for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he had lived through all of it. But
That's
we
impressive.
went there, and I met with Torm, which for some people, if they don't know, that's one of the gods you can choose to have your oath to, depending on what your oath is as a paladin. And he's the god of justice. So I met with Torm because he told me personally, you need to come see me now, because I was still an Oathbreaker, and I was in his realm. So he came to tell me that I'm willing to welcome you back in the fold, and he told me some hard truths about myself, like what my family had really done to me as a child or attempted to do, what his real purpose with me is, and that he put me in the 9 hells to test my faith, and I had failed.
Ooh, okay.
But I was being given a chance to redeem myself. But I had to defeat the demon I had created within my own body and mind, and I had to be willing to go back into the fold, so to speak. So he pulls the demon that's been growing inside of me out of my body.
It's like,
so it's
fight.
It's literally like a demon wraith hybrid at this point that's super powerful because it's still gaining bonuses from me because it's within my range of my dark aura.
Right.
So it's beefed itself up off of my evil intentions and bad thoughts. It's beefed up off of my whole self, and then he brings and just snaps the party into there, and it's like, okay, go fight your friend's inner demon. In which that was a bad fight.
That fight went on for, I think, 45 minutes of us trying to take this thing down. That was bonusing off of her. There was nothing we could do. Yeah.
I couldn't be.
I can just imagine. I can imagine the guy just ripping it out, and then like Mortal Kombat music flares up.
Basically. But also imagine the fact that I was a paladin who wielded an axe. I could try to do my spells and stuff, but if I wanted to do any serious damage, I had to be close enough to give it bonuses to take a swing at the thing. So it took about an hour for us to kill this thing, and then I was given the Holy Avenger sword afterward and welcomed back into my fold, but I never became fully good again. But long story short, that was one of my favorite stories with this character, and his death absolutely broke my heart. We actually had a moment of silence and everything. We had a proper funeral for him. I cried. I literally cried and had to be held. It was just...
Yeah, I think it just goes back to the beginning where we were talking about like seeing characters. 2 stories we've already had people. You got both Nick and Morgan like crying at like the deaths of their characters. It's very, I think it's awesome, and I think this is just a couple of really cool examples of just like what happens like when you go all in to D&D, not just kind of like stay on the surface level and just kind of like just play around with it. If you actually have to get in and really enjoy all this stuff. But I think this has been great. I think that's about all the time we have for this episode. Next episode is the session. So we're actually gonna be rolling dice and hitting things and role playing. It'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So follow us on Twitter, Nerding Out. Follow us on Facebook. We are on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, the OG place where we started. The streams go up to YouTube immediately after they're uploaded. So if you have any suggestions for ideas, email us at nerdingoutpodcast@gmail.com, and maybe we'll do a thing that you suggest or whatever. Maybe that'll be fun. So, Nathaniel, do you have any lasting thoughts?
No.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.